Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health, here with you on the 21st day of May 2013, where I pose the question today at the top of the second hour: what good is all of the money in the world if you don't have your health? And what good is your health if you can't go on vacation? I mean, look at Steve Jobs. All the money in the world, he didn't have any health. I mean, he died from cancer, and the MDs completely let him down. Celebrities die all of the time in their 50s, in their 60s, too early, way too early. I was watching the induction to, is that even a word, to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame a couple nights ago, and, you know, all of our legends, you know, they're like, they look like the walking wounded. It's just a matter of time before they start dropping like flies. They already are. Every single one of them, you know, probably has more money than you or I could even possibly imagine, and yet they're, you know, having trouble walking across the stage, for goodness sake. Everybody needs our help. This is why a longevity business is the perfect solution, because you have a built-in customer base. Who's your customer? Everybody. We're going to talk about that right now with one of my favorite guests. He's a regular guest here at Fire Your MD Now, the Vice President of Leadership Development. Let's give it up for Mike Randolph. Welcome aboard, Mike.
Hey, Doc. How's it going?
Very, very, very good. It's always a pleasure to have you here. So, Mike, I'm going to ask you this question. Let's get right to it. Is the spirit of entrepreneurialism dead in the United States? What do you think?
Well, you know, I think if you read the papers, if you watch the news, if you subscribe to conventional thinking, or if you're one of the sheep that is starting to line up for slaughter, you probably think that the entrepreneurial spirit is dead here in America. I mean, there's so many things pushing us in one direction, pushing us towards conforming, pushing us towards, you know, signing not just the income we make today, but signing our futures over and our kids' futures over and our grandkids' futures over to other people. Yeah, if you subscribe to all that, I'll bet you think entrepreneurialism is dead. But if you sit where I sit, and if you sit where you sit, I think you'll notice that entrepreneurialism is stronger than it's ever been. All you have to do is take those black cloud-colored glasses off. You know, you've heard of rose-colored glasses. Take the black cloud-colored glasses off and start looking around. I think there's opportunity is greater now than it ever has been. You just kind of have to snap out of that drug-induced state that the systems out there have put us in. And, you know, it's time to just stand up, take some responsibility, take a little bit of risk, not a lot of risk, and, you know what, just go out there and do something. I think you'll find that entrepreneurialism is very alive and very well.
Well, it's alive and well inside the wonderful world of longevity through the opportunity of network marketing as delivered through the agency of longevity. But honestly, most people have, you know, they've got this built-in societal negative view of network marketing, and I think I know where that came from. I have a little bit of a purchase on that, I think. I'd like to talk about that in a second. But, you know, there's a whole array of people in the world who are really struggling financially, who would love to start their own businesses, but they're looking around, they're seeing the way that the economy is in the rest of the world and all the crazy stuff that's going on with the stock market. You don't know if it's up, you don't know if it's down, you don't know who to trust. It's very tenuous. It's very tenuous. The banks aren't lending anymore. I mean, you know, it's crazy the situation that most people with an entrepreneurial spirit who want to get into the game here, they're hesitant to get into the game because really from the standard operating manual, when you just look at the waters, I mean, there's a lot of rough water out there. And unless you've got a couple of $1 million that you can just throw at something, it's not going to make a difference if you lose it. Most people are saying, you know what? Better safe than sorry. The devil that you know is better than the devil that you don't know. I think I'm just going to stay put in my job and wait until things clear up, which is just a sad statement, because for an initial investment of $5 $500 one-time enrollment fee. People can join Youngevity and build a multi-million-dollar business. And well, I'm not blowing smoke, folks. There have been hundreds of people who have done this, hundreds of people who have already done this. They've built multi-million-dollar incomes with Youngevity for an initial one-time, very, very tiny investment. And I don't know that there's any other business model in the world that offers that type of opportunity, Mike. I mean, network marketing is the bomb, baby. Why everybody does it, doesn't do it, is remarkable to me.
It is remarkable, but I'm glad. To be honest with you, between you and me, Doc, I'm glad not everybody takes advantage of the opportunity that we have, because let's face it, that old adage, the 80-20 rule, that holds true. And we only want people that want to move from the 80% into the 20%. We want people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired and broke and are willing to do something about it. We have probably the simplest business format system that exists. If you think McDonald's has a simple system, goodness gracious, you are going to love the Youngevity system. You don't have to become as brilliant as Dr. Glidden or as brilliant as Dr. Wallach. You don't have to have the business savvy that Steve Wallach has or the business savvy that Bill Andreoli has. You only have to follow the directions. You only have to follow the system. And if you do that, guaranteed you're going to see some reasonable success.
Well, I was taking a shower the other day, and I don't know what prompted me to do it, but I had the shampoo bottle, right? And I'm reading the label on the back of it just to see what's in it. And they had instructions for the I'd never seen that before in the shampoo bottle. It said, apply, lather, rinse, repeat. I thought to myself, whoa, that's brilliant. I mean, anybody can do that. I mean, I can do that. And that's exactly what Youngevity is like. It is such a simple system, and this is I think the unspoken truth that delivers a eureka moment to the big money earners in Youngevity when they finally figure out, you know what? The simpler I can keep my Youngevity business, the better it is, the better dividends it pays, the faster the business grows. Folks, it's a simple system. We say it all of the time. If you can follow the instructions on the shampoo bottle, for goodness sakes, you can have an extremely successful Youngevity business, and especially now, because in the wonderful world of network marketing, Youngevity is starting to gain a reputation, it's starting to get noticed, it's starting to gain traction, and now, with the publication of the Success from Home magazine, I mean, Mike, the sky is the limit.
It absolutely is. The sky is the limit, and people are discovering that they don't have to be dependent upon that system that is really designed for corporate America to prosper. It's really designed for other people to prosper. Like you teach every day on this show, you really just need to pull your head out of the sand and pay attention. That conventional thinking that has been pounded into us over the last couple hundred years is really not designed to get us ahead. It's not designed to make us healthier, and it's not designed to make us wealthier.
It's an interesting thing to talk about. I was having a conversation with one of my buddies from school a couple of months ago, and we were talking about the evolution of the educational system. And he told me something that I didn't know. He said, did you know that the PhD program was designed specifically to close people's minds and to make people think a particular way? It's not designed to promote or encourage creative outside-of-the-box thinking. It's designed specifically to make people think a specific way. And when I realized that, my head exploded. And it's one of the things I love about Youngevity, because I have eureka moments practically every month now when I discover the stuff that I didn't even know. And it's also great because when you get involved with Youngevity and really start to embrace the methods here, all kinds of new vistas open up. And, you know, I love to see people recover their health. I mean, it's extremely rewarding. I mean, even if just one person gets better, it's extremely rewarding. But watching people's lives open up because all of a sudden they've got 10 times more money in their bank account, 10 times more money in their bank account than they ever thought they could, I mean, that's a beautiful thing, man. That is just a beautiful thing.
It absolutely is. And, you know, when you look at the people in longevity that have really risen to the occasion and have created these multi-million-dollar incomes, you don't see one particular type of person. You don't see one gender. You don't see one ethnic background. You don't see one religious background. You see people from all across the dimensions of this globe, and the only thing they have in common is they all want to win. And they plugged into the system. They didn't try to become as smart as some of the folks, as smart as you, as smart as Doc. The best advantage for us is we get to use your knowledge. We get to use Dr. Wallach's knowledge. We just take that information, put it to the ground, put it to the road, and, you know, it's amazing what happens when people, when you kind of pop that bubble that people have been living in, and when they start to feel better, when they start to make more money, they realize, hey, you know what, this is not so bad. And as their attitude begins to change for the better, everything just starts to improve exponentially. And you come to one of our events. We just came back from Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago. What an amazing atmosphere. Thousands of people in one place that all just want to win. Everyone's smiling. Everyone's having a great time. Even the cabbies all across Las Vegas found out about the longevity event, and the cabbies were lined up because they wanted to take us back and forth to the airport, back and forth to the Strip, because everybody was just in a great frame of mind and having a good time.
One team, one dream. That's the way that it is, ladies and gentlemen. The sower had good seed. We have the best seed on the planet. Mike, I was just looking at the weekly corporate call and webinar schedule. There's something like 27, 28, 29 live telephone calls or webinars a week that longevity representatives can plug into. I mean, that's crazy. You know, myself, at my own website, I've got 4 events a week, live webinars, 4 live webinars a week. I've got 10 hours of radio a week. Dr. Wallach has 10 hours of radio a week, and we do live events, I mean, all around the country all of the time, business opportunity events, health events. I mean, we're everywhere all the time. This really is, and there's all this web support, and that doesn't even talk about, you know, the pre-recorded videos, the stuff in people's back office, the brochures, and the stuff they can take to trade shows and everything else. There's all of this support available to members of longevity, and my head just spins looking at all of the support. Honestly, the more I get into it here, the more it would be hard for me to imagine somebody failing at a longevity business, given all of the support that the company has.
Well, you know, failure is always an option, Doc. And I hope you can still hear me okay. I had to jump off my landline and onto my cell phone for just a moment. But failure is always an option if you choose to, if you follow the system, if you plug in to the tools that we have available for everyone. You know, failure is just that. It's only an option. And there is one secret. This doesn't work in all entrepreneurial endeavors. And you know, a lot of our listeners have probably ventured out and built a business of their own and had it fail. You know, businesses, unfortunately, do fail, primarily because of a lack of system. People think it's a lack of working capital. It's usually that people run out of money before they get their system figured out. Fortunately, here at Longevity, the system is already in place. The system is already all figured out. All you have to do is plug in minimal investment of money, actually a minimal investment of time. The only true investment that you need to work on is that investment of effort, that investment of tenacity, that investment that says, you know what, I'm going to be here a year from now. I'm not going to let the conventional thinking, I'm not going to let the naysayers and the black clouds, sway me from what I'm here to do. And if you stick to it, if you follow the system, if you repeat the steps, you will see success. You certainly won't fail for a lack of system.
Yeah, nor a lack of support. Really, the only thing necessary, ladies and gentlemen, in order to have a successful longevity business is the ability to open your mouth and the ability to be okay with people saying, you know what, no, that's really just not for me. And again, I like to use the parable, the sower had good seed, right? But what happened? Some fell on the rocky ground. Some the birds got. You know those people that you invite to the webinar and they don't show up? You know those people that you invite to the conference calls and they don't show up? Well, guess what? The birds got them. Some seed falls on okay ground, starts to grow, but then the weeds choke it out. Well, those are the people that get in. They start to work it, but then everybody in their family tells them, oh, this is a Ponzi pyramid scheme, and you really shouldn't do that. And then their medical doctor tells them that, oh, those vitamins just give you expensive urine, and they jump ship and they bail. Well, guess what? The weeds got them. But we're only looking for the 25%. We're only looking for people who have fertile minds, who have courage and tenacity of purpose, who are willing to step outside of the conventional norm. And again, one of the best things I like about longevity is that as a longevity member, you get to hang out with this type of people. You get to hang out with forward-thinking, positive people who have become made thinking outside of the box a normal habit. It's just a really great community of people to be involved with, Mike. Regretfully, Mike, we're up against a hard clock here. We're all out of time. Where does the time go, buddy? Just not enough. I appreciate your showing up with us today. Give me your parting shot in the last 40 seconds.
But the advice that I give to most people, whether you start a longevity business, whether you're, going to cut grass in your neighborhood, you need to pick your purpose. You need to put your head down. You need to put your blinders on, and you need to go, 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 go. Do not pick your head up till you reach that next goal. And for goodness sake, don't give up right before you achieve success.
Heard it right there, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Randolph. Thanks so much, Mike. I'll see you next week. Don't give up the ship. We're all in this together, and we got to hang in there together, or most assuredly we will hang alone. Buddy, Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. 866-582-9933. That's the number to call to speak with me live. If you're listening to the podcast and would like help ordering the products, help with the business opportunity, help with the health opportunity, 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. 855-347-3696. Nikki from Wisconsin is calling back, I think, with a follow-up about arachnoiditis. Hey, Nikki, thanks for the call. You are live.
Thank you for answering my call.
Yeah.
Yes, my friend Cilla Baker had called for me. I believe it was last week, about my mom, who was diagnosed with arachnoiditis.
Now, the most common cause of arachnoiditis is a side effect of epidural injections or intravenous therapy. So, was there did your mom have any type of surgical procedure a couple of months before? She did. What'd she have?
Yes, she had a spinal fusion.
No, well, there you go. So,
yes.
And she's aware that it was the spinal fusion that most probably caused this condition, right?
Yes.
So
she's aware.
Do you have a lawyer?
No. She was a registered nurse for many years, so she was aware of the risk she was taking. But she was having several problems before that.
Yeah, okay.
And this was one of the things they suggested.
Well, all right. So, of course, this begs the question, is your mother open to what we have to say?
Yes.
She is. Okay, good. And I just want to have a quick little aside while it's on the top of my mind. The vast majority of nurses are supporters of what we do, the vast majority. Because most people get into nursing, whether you're a man or a woman, most people get into nursing because they actually want to help people. And most people become physicians because they want to make money. So, I love working with nurses because even though they've got both feet planted firmly in allopathic land, they have much more compassionate minds than anybody else, and it's easy to bring them into the light. So, do you have any specific questions that I didn't already go over with your friend with, or how can I help?
Last night is my mom has a deadly allergy to shellfish. Excuse me.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted some of the products I think that you recommended. I think she could not use. So I was wondering what you would recommend that would be safe for her that does not contain shellfish products.
There you go. Excellent question. So the stuff that contains shellfish is the Osteo FX Plus and the Glucogel. So she needs to stay away from both of those products. That means she cannot have the Healthy Start Pack because the Healthy Start Pack has Osteo FX Plus in it. So what I would recommend that she do instead, how much does she weigh?
She weighs 170 and she's 5'6".
All right.
61 years old.
Okay, so per month, then I would do 2 bottles of Beyond Tangy Tangerine. 2 bottles of Beyond Tangy Tangerine, or canisters, it's a powder. 2 bottles of Beyond Tangy Tangerine, and 2 bottles of Cal Toddy. That's Cal like calcium, C-A-L, Toddy. 2 bottles of Cal Toddy. 2 bottles of the EFA Plus. 2 bottles of EFA Plus. That's like Edward Francis Albert, EFA Plus. And 4 bottles of selenium a month. 4 bottles of selenium a month. So 4 selenium, 2 EFA Plus, 2 Cal Toddy, and 2 Beyond Tangy Tangerine per month, plus elimination of the 10 bad foods from her diet, and getting on board with the use of salt, the liberal use of salt in her diet. Her body needs salt in order to digest food properly, to extract nutrients from food, to have a healthy digestive tract. And she and you and me and everybody need to be off of the 10 bad foods. We just need to eliminate the 10 bad foods, just stop eating them. Take the nutritional supplements, start salting our food so that it tastes good, and take this situation 1 month at a time. Now, most people that are in chronic pain involving, bones and joints, like in the arthritic domain, once they start our program, most people, there are exceptions to every rule, but most people experience a noticeable positive change within the first 14 days. So, and also remember that, we get confused here because we've grown up inside of this culture. It's a reductionistic MD allopathic culture, right, a medical culture, which has conditioned us to think about the body as having a disease, and that, you go to the doctor to treat the disease. Well, that's not what holistic doctors do, and that's not what we do. What we do is provide a holistic nutritional program which supports and promotes the workings of the human body with, in this case, a little extra joint stuff, right? So when your mother starts to take this stuff and gets on board with our program, it would be beneficial if she were mindful of how the program affects her across the board, not just with the arachnoiditis and the arthritic stuff, but how's her mood, how's her energy, how's her digestion, how's her sleep, how's her life, as she rolls through the day. And one of the most curious things to notice in people that do this is a lot of fun, because nobody ever notices it themselves. It's always their relatives or their partners that notice it. Almost 100% of the time, people that get on board with our nutritional program become much more cheerful. I mean, they're much easier going, they're much more upbeat, they're much more positive, they're much more cheerful, and a whole lot less doomy and gloomy and pessimistic and, life is horrible, and how people get, right? It's a really cool thing to watch people's personalities change for the positive, because they don't even know that it's changing for the positive, because we don't really have any perspective on that ourselves. But we see this all of the time. So that's a long-winded way of saying, you know, it's a holistic program. And even though we anticipate this program supporting and promoting the structure and function of her spine and central nervous system, we also look for other things into the bargain. And I guess the last thing that I would like to counsel your mom to do, because this condition involves the central nervous system, right? The central nervous system is made from cholesterol. That's what it's made from. So your mother would benefit from eating a diet that's high in cholesterol, and she needn't worry, because as a nurse, the research clearly shows that if you are a postmenopausal Caucasian woman, total cholesterol over 300 offers better results than total cholesterol under 300. I bet you didn't know that. That's published. So if she worries about, oh, I'm going to eat more cholesterol and my cholesterol is going to go up, well, yeah, your cholesterol is going to go up. I hope your cholesterol goes up, because when it's over 300, you're going to have a longer, healthier life. So we don't need to worry about all of this cholesterol nonsense that, you know, Pfizer Pharmaceutical has shoved down our throat for the last 40 years. It's nonsense. So in a nutshell, that's the program that I would do. The two products with longevity that have shellfish in them are the glucogel. Well, there's three. The glucogel capsules, the glucogel liquid, and the Osteo FX Plus. Now, notwithstanding those three, she's good to go. Does that answer your questions?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, listen, we never get, you know, I mean, you can have a whole medical career and never see one case of arachnoiditis, right? It's a peculiar disease. So I'm very interested in seeing how this pans out for her. So if you'd be kind enough, just call me back every couple of weeks with an update. I mean, whether it's a good update or a bad update, I want to know. So call me back. Let me know how it's going, and we'll do whatever we can to help you. Thank you so much for the call. Now go out there and see what you can do for your mom. All right. Going from wherever we just were to Chicago, Sam's calling back with a follow-up question. Hey, Sam, thanks for calling. You are live.
Hey, Dr. Glidden. I called yesterday, the runner. Do you recall?
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Wonderful. I forgot to, I would like to mention, I was listening off the air after I spoke with you. I have been taking longevity products, particularly the Beyond Tangy and the selenium. And I was just wondering if I'm doing everything right. And, you know, in terms of the amount I'm taking, the different times of, the different times of the day I'm taking it, and
well, it's an interesting thing to talk about, and there are no really hard and fast rules. The thing that we base this all around is, you know, in order to optimize the effectiveness of the program, you need to be taking adequate amounts of it, and we dose that based on your body weight. So if you've got the dosages down based on your body weight, then you're good to go. The only other thing you really need to be mindful of is whether or not your body is absorbing what you're taking. And the two things to facilitate absorption of the products are eliminating the 10 bad foods. So you have to eliminate the 10 bad foods no matter what, because if you eat that stuff, it's going to interfere with the absorption of the nutrients. And number two, you shouldn't be taking a mineral supplement, specifically a mineral supplement like the selenium or the liquid calcium or the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Now, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine has more than just minerals in it, but it's got minerals in it, right? So the lion's share of the longevity products all contain minerals. Some of them don't, but the lion's share do. And the products that contain minerals should not be consumed during a meal that has phytates in it. So you're just going to have to do a little Google search for phytate, P-H-Y, T like Thomas, A, T like Thomas, E, phytate, and, you know, print out a list of foods that are high in phytates And when you're eating a breakfast, lunch, or dinner that has phytates in it, don't take your longevity supplements. Take them between meals. Wait a couple of hours after the phytates digest, and then you can take your supplements after that. And if you do that, so now you're taking supplements between meals, if that gives you an upset stomach, which it will maybe 10-25% of the time, eat an apple or a banana or a handful of mixed salted nuts just to kind of make your stomach start to digest. Because the intention here is to dial in a supplement program that produces zero, and I mean zero, discomfort. There should be no nausea. There should be no constipation. There should be no diarrhea. There should be no negative nothing whatsoever. And if there is, we have to develop a workaround for that program. And so the only other thing that you'd have to dial in, Sam, is a dosage appropriate for your body weight, especially because you're such an athlete. And you are. Whether you think you are or not, you are. And, because of that, you need to be right at the upper limit of the dosage for your body weight, if not a little more. I mean, you can always take a little more. And that's why I recommended the Rebound FX during the workouts. Because every time you work out, you're burning through your nutrients, and you're going to need more than the average bear. So those are really the only prohibitions, man. Check it out. See how you feel. Call me back. I'm always happy to help. We're up against the hard break here, folks. Why? Because you just can't shut Dr. Glidden up. 866-582-9933. Give me a call. Appropriate music, because we're going to Miami to talk to one of my favorite Cubanos, Abi. Abi is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, Abi. How's it going?
Hi, good, Dr. Glidden. Good talking to you in the last 5 minutes of the show, so I'm going to be quick. I'm going to follow up on the food poisoning last week.
Yeah, I told you to get a homeopathic remedy, our Seneca album, right? So tell me what happened.
Oh, excellent. I went to the health food store, like you said. I got it. I took, you said 2 pellets. I took 4. And I took 4. Then 2 hours later, I took 2 more, and that was it. Everything disappeared.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, this is why I got into homeopathy. Now, homeopathy, ladies and gentlemen, is a subset of holistic medicine. Historically, homeopathy was its own medical profession, right? There was homeopathic societies, homeopathic medical schools, homeopathic hospitals all around the United States. But after the Flexner Report, the homeopaths got kicked off the bus of medicine into the ditch, and then the pharmaceutical industry ground their jackbooted heel into the homeopath's face and forced them further and further and further into obliteration. So now the only place you can study homeopathy is at the colleges of naturopathic medicine. That's the only place that has a homeopathic course of treatment built into the curriculum of a licensed medical school. So I was a homeopath. I still am a classical homeopath, but the reason that I got into naturopathic medicine in the first place, Abi, was because I had a miracle cure, my own personal story with homeopathy. I'll tell it on the radio one day. I had a miracle cure with homeopathy. When you select the correct homeopathic medicine, and I do not care what the diagnosis is, I do not care what the signs and symptoms are, I do not care how bad the condition is, I do not care how long you've had it. Once the correct homeopathic medicine is selected and administered, magic happens, and it usually happens within 24 hours. It is rapid, it is long-lasting, it is awesome, and it is most excellent. And, when food poisoning sucks, man, especially when you have it lingers, it's like being hungover for 5 days. You're just not yourself. And you're telling me that within 5 hours of a couple of doses of homeopathic medicine, you were completely symptom-free? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Completely. I woke up in the morning like a new person, and I went to do some presentation for you and gave it with
I love my job.
I have another thing, which I never got I was expecting to get diarrhea out of the food poisoning, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And after one day, after all that, on Sunday, that was on Sunday, I started getting loose stools, and today, I've had yesterday and today diarrhea, so I'm wondering if I should take the homeopathic again, because it might have some bacteria still in the gut. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So, and you only took 2 doses, right? And then you stopped?
Yeah, just 2.
All right, yeah, so take more. Take 2 more pellets today, 2 more pellets tomorrow. Sometimes you need to take a little extra stuff for a couple of days just to kick it out 100%. It's kind of like, shooing the last couple of flies from your house once they got in from the cracked open windows. A couple more doses should be all that the doctor ordered. Now, also from a nutritional standpoint, Avi, let's not overlook the obvious, right? Whenever we're dealing with anything in the gut that's an acute presentation, it's always smart to introduce into the body the probiotics. So if you're not already doing it, a couple of packets of the root beer belly would be a smart idea, or the Ultimate Flora FX would be a smart idea at this juncture. Shouldn't need to do that for more than 7 days, though. Hey, Abby, you just made my day, man. I really appreciate the callback. I appreciate more the trust. You are the last best hope Miami has, in addition to Raul and Alina and everybody else down there that's in longevity, to lift that city up into health. I'm coming there in a couple of weeks, so get ready, Abby. I'm coming to Miami. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. We're all out of time. 866-582-9933. That's the number to call tomorrow, and check it out on the World Wide Web. FireYourMDNow.com.